At Walker Industries, we acknowledge that all employees, contractors, and subcontractors have a right to work in a safe and healthy environment. Our commitment to maintain this environment is achieved by continually improving our health and safety performance, exercising due diligence, meeting all health and safety standards as set out by relevant legislation. Not only is safety an integral part of business here at Walker Industries, it is a core value, and we are committed to providing a safe workplace at all times. We have achieved this by living and working in a strong safety culture that is made up of 7 philosophies, including 1. Pride in work. 2. Cooperation. 3. Cohesion. 4. Communication. 5. Participation. 6. Plan to work safe. 7. Just think. Our workplace culture encourages the values and beliefs that all injuries and illnesses are preventable. We expect the same level of commitment from all employees and contractors. The Walker Industries Safety Program is based on the Internal Responsibility System. All workplace parties, including employees, contractors, and subcontractors, are jointly responsible for health and safety within the workplace. Walker Industries strives to achieve excellence in all areas of health and safety. To achieve this, you must follow pertinent legislation, adhere to the requirements outlined in the Walker Industries Environmental Health and Safety Handbook, investigate all safety concerns and incidents, provide a safe working environment at all times, hazard awareness. It is important for you to know how to recognize and correct hazardous situations. Correcting a hazardous situation can prevent a serious injury from occurring. Hazards exist in 4 ways. 1. Physical. 2. Chemical. 3. Ergonomic. And 4. Biological. Once a hazard is identified, there are ways to correct them and work safely with them using engineering controls, administrative controls, the use of personal protective equipment, known as PPE. Personal protective equipment. While working for Walker Industries, PPE may be required to ensure your safety for various tasks you may perform. Hard hats, safety boots, and reflective clothing like vests and coveralls. Fall arrest devices and equipment. Eye and face protection. Respirators. Gloves and coveralls. Hearing protection. When working with rotating equipment or moving machinery parts, long hair, loose clothing, and jewelry are strictly prohibited. Accident reporting. It is imperative that you report any accidents or incidents to your supervisor or a Walker Industries representative immediately. That would include all injuries, illnesses, property or equipment damage, near misses occurring on the job, and any hazards or violations of relevant legislation. With prompt treatment, we can help to avoid infection and possibly more serious complications. We can also educate everyone to help eliminate these incidents in the future. Safety on the job. You should always be aware of your safety while performing your duties with respect to safe lifting and carrying, storage and handling of compressed gases, welding and cutting, ladders and scaffolds, tools, good housekeeping, pre-operation checks, pinch points, guarding, overhead power lines, trenching, electrical, hoisting and rigging, machine safety, lockout procedures. There are times when you need to work on equipment that may be energized. You must make sure you lock out all sources before proceeding with any work. To ensure effective lockouts, follow these safe lockout steps. 1. Identify all sources of energy. 2. Isolate or neutralize all identified main and stored energy sources. 3. Attach locks and tags. Every person working on the equipment must apply and remove their own lock and tags, ensuring their name, date, and reasons for the lockout are clearly identified on the tag. 4. Verify zero energy. 5. Proceed with the work following safety procedures. 6. Upon completion of the work, remove the lock and tag once all workers are accounted for. Communication between a Walker Industries employee and the contractor doing the work is essential before work commences, during the work performed, and when the job is completed. Only then can equipment be re-energized. Confined spaces. While there are a few definitions depending on where you work, a confined space is generally a location that is not normally intended for continuous occupancy, and that has an atmosphere potentially containing harmful levels of contaminants or unsafe oxygen content. Only if you have completed confined space entry training are you permitted to enter a confined space. When you do, make sure that you conduct all the steps necessary to ensure your safety. Mobile equipment. Everyone needs to be aware of the danger zone involving mobile equipment. Always remain alert and stay a safe distance from them. Mobile equipment operators are expected to complete a pre-operation inspection. Use three-point contact when mounting or dismounting. Wear a seatbelt at all times. Obey all signs and speed limits. Ensure communication between you and workers on the ground. When using tools, make sure you inspect tools for damage before each use. Remove any loose clothing or jewelry before using the equipment. If you have long hair, make sure it is tied back. Use the appropriate tool for the job being performed. Ensure guards and all safety devices are in place and operational. Emergency procedures. You are required to know and follow emergency procedures at your work locations. Be familiar with the location of fire extinguishers, first aid and eye wash facilities, spill kits, emergency response plan, contact numbers including the location of the nearest hospital. Violence and harassment. Walker Industries ensures that all employees and contractors work in an environment that is free from all forms of 1. Harassment. 2. Exploitation. 3. Violence. 4. Threats. Acts of harassment and/or violence of any kind are not condoned. Should you be subject to any such acts, you are required to inform your manager, supervisor, and/or a Walker representative. Environmental considerations. Not only is it important to be aware of our surroundings for safety reasons, but we also have a responsibility to our environment. At Walker Industries, we emphasize our Earth First environmental program, which stands for E. Efficiently operate. Operating efficiently creates higher environmental performance. It is looking to nature as a guide, taking a whole system approach, creating cycles, relationships, and networks so our wastes become food for other parts of the system. A. Acknowledge our part. As a company and as individuals, we are part of the environment and the community. Every step that we take to create a healthy environment is a step toward creating a healthy self. R. Reduce our impacts. Reducing impacts start with an awareness of how we are performing and how we interact with the environment. How can we adapt operations to better support the environment? T. Take time to plan. Successful planning considers preventative measures, creates the best solutions, and usually solves more than one problem. Defining the problem completely, considering all stakeholders, and understanding interconnections is key. H. Higher environmental performance. It is about continuous improvement. To improve, we need to challenge ourselves to learn, to think about the possibilities, and to share our crazy ideas. First in innovation and leadership. To be leaders and innovators requires us to encourage all our teams to be leaders and innovators, and that means creating a sense of belonging, participating in meaningful and respectful dialogue, and understanding the important role we each play. We strongly encourage our employees and contractors to embrace these principles and to ensure that others do the same. It is important to act in a manner that is supportive of our environment, prevents adverse effects, and complies with all environmental laws, regulations, and company policies and procedures. An adverse effect is a release to land, air, or water that is abnormal in quality or quantity in light of all circumstances. Not causing an adverse effect is the key to being a good environmental performer. A contaminant can be a solid, liquid, gas, odor, heat, sound, vibration, radiation, or a combination of them resulting from human activity. A release to the environment, air, water, or land, is a concern when it causes or may cause an adverse effect. Impairment of the natural environment or any use that can be made of it. Injury or damage to property, plants, or animals. Harm or material discomfort to any person. Effect on the health and safety of any person. Making property, plants, or animals unfit for human use. Loss of enjoyment of property. Interference with business conduct. Should a release to the environment occur, know what to do. Know where your emergency response equipment is located. Know your evacuation plan. And notify your site's supervisor and emergency response team immediately. Know Walker Industries' environmental policies on incident reporting, approvals, waste management, fueling, air emissions, water management, complaint response, and media, government representatives, and neighbors. A brief summary of these procedures is available in your Environmental Health and Safety Handbook. This video has provided you with important information to ensure your health and safety while working for Walker Industries. However, it does not cover all of the Walker Industries safety programs, environmental policies, nor all of the legislated requirements of the location in which you are working. Site-specific requirements must be reviewed during your orientation prior to commencing work. Be proactive. Read the Walker Industries Environmental Health and Safety Handbook and ask a Walker Industries representative if you have any questions or would like more information. We have emphasized Walker Industries' commitment to health, safety, the environment, and defined your responsibilities in areas of hazard awareness, personal protective equipment, accident reporting, safety on the job, lockout procedures, confined spaces, mobile equipment, and emergency procedures. We have also covered environmental policies such as the Earth First program, adverse effects, contaminants, and what to do if a release occurs. Adhere to the requirements outlined in the Walker Industries Environmental Health and Safety Handbook. No job is so important that you cannot take the time to do it safely. Safety begins with you. Your attitudes and actions support the belief that workplace injuries can and must be prevented. It is up to you to use this information and just think. Live the culture, a superior safety culture.